What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video here on Ranger Central, and I apologize for the very late night upload. Normally, I don't do this. Normally, I'll schedule a video and then upload it in the morning, but I figured I would upload this now just because if there's more signings, then it's going to be confusing if I have this up pre-recorded and there was a signing before. I digress. Either way, I'm getting this up late, and if there's signings tomorrow, I will cover all of that tomorrow. And I was waiting late night just in case there was a few more signings, just because after the Taylor Raddysh signing, I got a little worried that maybe there would be more signings tonight. So I ended up waiting. Count how many times I said signings there. But either way, we're going to talk about the Taylor Raddysh edition as well as Derrick Pouliot. Before I jump into everything, I ask that you please leave a like. If you do enjoy, subscribe. If you guys are new to the channel, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live here on Ranger Central. I appreciate everyone that tuned into the Free Agent Frenzy stream. It was a great time doing that with the Big Apple Hockey Boys. So go check them out as well. And I appreciate them having us on, of course. But let's get into it. As the Rangers, like I said, they had Taylor Raddysh, who was with Washington last year. He signed for 2 years at 1.5 million. And last year with Washington in 80 games played, he had 7 goals, 20 assists for 27 points, 26 of them being at even strength, was a -7, 18 PIMs. Okay. In terms of the power play point, it was an assist there. That's the only thing he had. Averaged about 12 minutes of ice time. Definitely gave the puck away more than he took it away. Here's the thing, though, that I'm trying to understand. So I'm not mad at the contract for the player. I'm just not thrilled with the decision to sign the player because I'm trying to understand, why would you go out and sign a guy like this and Taylor Raddysh when you have a clear need at your number 3 center spot, and Nick Bukestad could have been had for just a small amount more. You could have went out there and got Lars Eller for less money, and Lars Eller, ideally, you'd probably want more as a 4C than a 3C. But I would have no issue if Lars Eller was playing the wing on the third line, which is apparently where they're viewing Raddysh. Maybe, I don't even know. Which, if you're viewing him as a wing, I mean, then you look at some wing options, and there was probably a few more there that you could have went out and got for a similar price. I mean, I'm not a big JVR guy, but at least JVR gives you something for the power play, or go out and spend a little bit of money to maybe add some of these other guys. Or the guy that I would have wanted though is Lars Eller or Nick Bukestad. Like, point ends there, because to me, Nick Bukestad would have been perfect when you have a clear need at your number 3 center spot. At worst, he's your fourth line center. And maybe it's because you're spacing out your centers. Maybe Mika could actually play center more than we thought. And then you have Miller there, and then Trocheck, and then Bukestad's your 4C, or Bukestad's on the wing, even. Whatever it is, all I know is that I would have rather spent the bucks on a guy that could play center, and on top of that, a guy Nick Bukestad who kills penalties. Because the other thing that I'm really questioning about this is, you signed a guy to 1.5 million to do what? I mean, he doesn't kill penalties at all. He got some power play time, but not enough to where, and in those power play minutes, again, he only put up 1 point. So it's not like he was putting up a lot of points on the power play. So I'm just a little confused as to what they envision his role being, when, again, he does not kill penalties like a guy like Lars Eller and Nick Bukestad would do. He doesn't go on the power play. I think Nick Bukestad can play on the power play at the very least. So what is the vision? And this team did need help with 5v5 production. And I'm a little intrigued in that regard in terms of what Taylor Raddysh could provide. But the thing that I also have a problem with is, I don't know if I view him as a good enough piece on the third line to help you out enough. But the fourth line, what are you going to do? I mean, maybe you move Rempe out and this guy plays on the fourth line, and you go with a combination of Edstrom, Carrick, Raddysh on your fourth line, and then you go with Othman, Brodzinski, I guess, is your 3C, or Parsonen, and then Berard. So I'm just a little confused right now as to what they envision his role being. And again, the contract is not bad. I want to make that clear. I'm not sitting here saying that the contract is an albatross and they're going to regret it or anything. It's really more just the fit and the fact that every single dollar counts for this team that still needs to improve the 3C spot. And I still think needs to get help on the blue line. I'm hoping that Carson Soucy gets moved because then if you move that contract out, it gives you a little more flexibility to add someone as the 3C. I don't really like Pius Suter, but I don't know if that's in the realm of possibility with the cap, especially now after signing Raddysh, where maybe if you don't sign Raddysh and you move Soucy, maybe you're able to fit a cheaper defenseman on the back end and then go out and spend a little bit of money to get Pius Suter. Now it's probably not realistic, but again, it's just really more the fit than anything. What do they envision the fit being for him? If he does what he did in Chicago, where he put up 37 points, great. But the problem is, he had a career high in average ice time. He had a career high shooting percentage that was not sustainable. And on top of that, he did have a bigger role there. He did kill penalties, was not good at it. Maybe under a different system, he will be. But at the same time, he played under John Cooper and didn't really play well shorthanded. So, I'm just a little confused as to what they envision him doing for this team. He got scratched by Washington multiple times in the playoffs as well, which also does sound the alarm bells to me. We'll see. It's not a contract, again, that's going to handicap you, and it's not a contract that's immovable if, he is not playing well enough, but it's also just more of why are you giving that deal out when you have a need at center? If they had extra cap space and, had the center position solved and they were just getting wing depth, I'd have no problem with this. And I would say, okay, let's just see what he could provide. But I guess I'll give it time and see if they have any other plans going forward with addressing the center position. I just hope they do. I really just hope they do. The other thing that I'm looking at right now is at least it is a little bit variable. The contract they'd be hit with 35. Sorry, I can't talk. 350,000. I don't know why I said 35. $350,000 on the cap if they put him down in Hartford. If things really got to that point where you need to put him down in Hartford, I hope it doesn't get to that, and I hope that I'm wrong, like I felt with the Sam Carrick one, where I felt sour about that one. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. And I'm hoping that he goes out there, does a good job. I'm hoping that he kills penalties, puts up north of 25 points, and is a solid contributor, maybe even puts up power play points. I am hoping for that. The problem is I don't know how much I could count on it when, again, there hasn't been enough to prove he's anything like that 20 goal season is who he is. And if you're not getting double digit goals from him at 5-on-5 and you're just getting like somewhere in the 5 to 8 ballpark and you're getting, you know, 10 to 20 assists, 15 to 20 assists, to me that's not doing enough for you for the third line role. Like that, it's just that simple to me. For the fourth line, maybe it's a bit better, but again, like, are you not playing Rempe? I can't envision that knowing this team. But we'll see. We'll see how they envision him fitting in. And then in terms of the other signing that they made, Derrick Pouliot, they ended up giving him a league minimum deal. It's an AHL player. Like, I really don't have a strong feeling on this one. I actually kind of like it in terms of adding some veteran presence down there, which that team desperately needs. Left shot defenseman, played under Mike Sullivan for a couple of years in Pittsburgh. In those games, he got the most he had was 34 games back in 2014, 2015. He did play 2 games on the Stanley Cup winning team in 15-16. He did play on that 16-17 roster, just not in the playoffs. But he's bounced around the league a little bit, had some time in Vancouver, had some time in St. Louis, Vegas, Seattle, San Jose, Dallas. He has legit been all over the map. And last year, he spent his time with the Syracuse Crunch, the Tampa Bay Lightning's AHL affiliate. In 70 games, he had 7 goals, 46 assists for 53 points. Played in 3 playoff games down there, didn't put up a point, had 12 PIMs in the playoffs. I guess he got ejected from a game. Sure, why not? The guy's familiar with Sullivan's system, and I can tell you right now, I would rather see a guy like Derrick Pouliot have to come up and play in a pinch than a guy like Ben Harper or Connor Mackey and any of these other guys. They need someone to replace kind of that Zach Jones role. So you can't go wrong with this contract at all. So That one, I'm completely fine about. And again, with Raddysh, I just want to reiterate the point because I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm just, completely dogging on, the player for what he could provide entirely because you never know until you see, right? Because again, with Carrick, it was kind of a similar story. He was scratched by Edmonton in the playoffs a lot, and he didn't really provide much on the penalty kill. Like, actually, was statistically bad on the penalty kill, and it ended up working out. We'll see if the same fate happens with Raddysh. I don't know though. I really just don't know if I'm counting too much on it. And it's just very weird that they wanted to logjam the wings a little bit more when they kind of already have a logjam on the wings. And I'd rather just give the time to Othman and guys like Berard. And I know that they didn't show much in the games they played, and maybe they need more time in Hartford and you want to get veterans to push these guys. I get that, but again, to me, the signing of Nick Bukestad was right there because then you get Bukestad, you have the flexibility of putting him at center, and then you could either put Parsonen down in the AHL, or if you really need to put him on the wings because a guy like Othman or Berard aren't ready, then you have that flexibility, and I like that way more than this route. But again, I don't know. For the most part, I've been happy with what I shouldn't say for the most part. I was very happy with what they did. So, yeah, in terms of everything else on July 1st, we'll see what else they do. We'll see if there's any more moves up Drury sleeves. But all I could say is that if this is the roster going into opening night, outside of like maybe some depth signings, I'm a little perplexed. A little perplexed because I think there's just still too much more work that needs to be done to call it an off season here. But it's only July 2nd at the time I'm recording this and the time this is going up. We'll see. We'll see. But thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know I upload or go live again. I'll see you guys in the next one.